Hi everyone, welcome back. If you're new, my name is Blair and I'm so excited for today's video. I have a new product review for you today and it is the ABH Norvina Volume 4 palette. I have honestly not been tempted at all by any of the Norvina palettes until this one. Obviously, the packaging is so pretty, right up my alley. It's this really pretty, soft baby pink, and the color story in here, just something about it really spoke to me, and I think it's because it is a perfect mixture of neutrals and pops of color. Something about this palette just spoke to me, and I knew when I saw the pictures, I had to have it. I cannot say how excited I was to get this in the mail. I could not wait to play with this. So this video may be a little bit different from other videos using this palette here on YouTube. I wanted to do really wearable looks using this palette because yes, you can get very vibrant, very in your face, bright eye looks from this palette, but there are a lot of really wearable options with the shades in here. This is the most neutral look that I created, but I did do two other looks that have a little more color incorporated, but still very wearable and are not going to be super intimidating if you're someone that tends to steer away from a lot of color with your eye makeup. So I hope you guys like the video. If you enjoy it, make sure to give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments which of the eye looks is your favorite. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and let's go ahead and get into the video. The first look I'm going to do today is going to be probably the most neutral. And I really don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to kind of go with it. I honestly have not been tempted by any of the Norvina palettes until this one. Something about this one though, as soon as I saw it on Trend Mood, I fell in love and I knew I had to have it. So I ordered it and I thought it would be fun to see how many really wearable looks I could create with little minimal pops of fun colors. I did already prime my eyes with my Nars tinted eyeshadow base, and let's go ahead and start. I'm kind of nervous. I always get nervous when I use eyeshadow palettes for the first time. I don't know why, and this one is so pretty. I almost don't want to do any. I don't know. I don't even want to mess it up. It's so pretty, but first I'm gonna go in with the shade right here. It's A4. It's a really pretty, kind of a cooler tone brown, I guess. It's my most obvious transition shade from this palette, so we're going to go in with that first. And I'm using my BK Beauty 201 brush. So this color is obviously very pigmented because I barely tap my brush into that color, and there's a good bit of payoff. I'm just trying to get a really even wash of that color. Okay, so that is a really pretty neutral transition shade. Now that we have that A4 color laid down, I'm going to go in with this cool toned brown, which is, I believe, B5. For the shade B5, I'm taking also from BK Beauty the 202 brush. It's a really kind of a skinnier, pointed, tapered brush. And for this, I'm going to put right in the crease of my eye and just go back and forth in windshield wiper motion. So this I'm not taking all over my eye like I did the first shade. I'm just kind of keeping this right where I can feel my crease. Dragging it out just a little bit out here into the outer V. So see how that really makes it look like I have more of an eyelid than I actually have? So I really like to do this step with a cool tone shade, and I think that worked really nicely. Now I have those two colors laid down. See how pretty those two shades look together? Now I'm just going to take the first fluffy brush that we used and very lightly blend just a little bit around the edges, just to make sure everything is nice and diffused. Now I want to use just a tiny bit of this shade, which is D1. This is a little bit more of almost a mustardy brown. I'm literally taking the tiniest bit of this with another, this is a Morphe fluffy brush, and we're just gonna brush this over where we put that first shade. You're not gonna get a ton of color payoff here, I don't think, but I just kind of want to add another neutral color, kind of diffuse this a little bit. Now I'm going to go into this really beautiful plum. It's the shade E4. And I'm going to add a little bit of this to the outer corner, but not much. I mean, very, very slightly. I'm just stamping this right at the outer corner. You can see very, very minimal. Like I barely tap my brush in this color, because I do want to keep this really light and neutral like I was saying, but I do want to add a little bit of color to this look. So I'm just tapping and kind of flicking my brush up into that crease. Now I'm going to go back into the very first shade that we used, which was A4, and the 201 brush, and we're just going to blend this out where we place this purple shade. Now that we've blended out that purple, I'm going to take this, I'm going to take this shade right here, B4. A shimmery, kind of a taupey brown. I did just dampen my brush with a little MAC Fix Plus. I don't know if I need that or not, but I'm gonna try it and just see what happens. And for this shade, I am just going to tap this kind of a little outside the center of the eyelid and tap it over kind of toward where we put that plum shade. Ooh, that is pretty. Oh, I love that shade, B4. That is a really beautiful shade. Oh, going back in with a little bit more of that B4 shade and a little more MAC Fix Plus. I just want to see. Oh, that shade is pretty. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I love that shade. Wow. Now I'm going to go in with this shade. This shade looks really pretty too. It's A5. It's a really pretty golden shimmer. And I think this is going to be really pretty on the lid. So I'm going to take, again, a little bit of MAC Fix Plus. And start to tap this in the inner portion of my eyelid. Oh gosh, so pretty. Oh my gosh. I still need to do my lower lash line, but I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my face makeup and then do the lower lash line, just in case anything falls underneath here. I feel like I need to do the rest of my face before I finish the eye look, but so far I am obsessed with how this has turned out. I love these colors together. It'll all come together when I do the rest of my makeup. So I'm gonna do that and I will be right back. So I have finished pretty much the rest of my face makeup, and now I'm just going to finish the bottom lash line. And I'm gonna keep the bottom lash line really easy and simple. I like to keep my bottom lash line pretty minimal typically. So I am going to take these shades B4 and B5. So the kind of the cool tone brown and the shimmery taupe. And I'm just gonna mix a little bit of both of those with this tiny little smudger brush. It's a BK Beauty 204 brush. And I'm just gonna lightly drag this under my eye. Kind of connect it up. And that's all I'm gonna do for the lower lash line. I just wanna keep it minimal. So let's go ahead and curl my eyelashes. Like I said, want to keep this look or these looks with this palette really wearable and natural. So I am not going to apply false lashes. I know a ton of people have been doing really bright looks with these huge lashes, and I just want to keep mine a little more wearable, and I honestly never wear false lashes at all. I use Revitalash on my lashes, and so they are pretty long. Okay, so I finished the rest of my makeup. I will link everything I used for my face makeup in the description box if you are interested. I will have it all listed down below. I'm obsessed with this eye look though. I am obsessed with these colors. I know this is not super out there and colorful and vibrant, but this is right up my alley. It is so pretty neutral. These shades were really easy to work with. I have no complaints at all. This look was obviously the most neutral. I'm going to be back with 2 more looks and we're going to get a little bit more colorful, but my first impression of this ABH Norvina Volume 4 palette is I am very impressed, and I'm really excited that I have this in my collection now. So let me know what you guys think. This is look number 1. I think this is gorgeous. I have nothing bad to say about it. These shades are so pretty. So pretty. So I hope you guys like this first look, and I'll be back tomorrow with another one. So it's the next day, and we're going to use some more shades in this palette today. I'm going to use more of the purples in here. So let's get started. I am first going to go back into the first shade that we used yesterday, which was a 4 right here. And we're just going to run a little bit of that in the crease. Now I'm going to go into this shade. This is one of the shades I was most excited about in this palette. It's shade C4. It's a really beautiful lavender with a little bit of shimmer in it. I'm just going to lightly start to blend this right in the crease of my eye. Not taking it up as far as I did that first shade we laid down. Oh my gosh, I can already tell. I'm gonna love this shade. Just gonna lightly build that up. Kind of drag it into this corner of the eye too. and then lightly back up into the crease area. I'm using the BK Beauty 202 brush. It's a really pointed, tapered brush. Oh my gosh, this shade is so pretty. Now that we've gotten some of that lavender shade, I'm going to take the tiniest bit of this shade, and this one is very bright, so we'll see how this goes. The shade A3, and just slightly building this up in the outer V. That color, it looks really pretty with that lavender shade that we used earlier. So I'm just taking tiny bits of these colors just so I keep this wearable. Like I said, I don't want anything that's too super intense. I really want this to be something that has some color, but it's wearable color. So now I'm just taking that pointed tapered brush again and just very, very lightly blending this out. I'm going to take the shade C3, or no, yeah, C3, which is this really pretty, it's kind of a periwinkle kind of color with some shimmer in it. I'm going to take this brush with a little bit of Fix Plus and go into that C3 shade. I'm going to pat this right to the, I guess the right of where we put that other purple shade. And just kind of tap it in. Ooh. This kind of has like a duochrome finish to it. It's kind of a little bit of a blue purple periwinkle, like I was saying. Oh, pretty. I'm going to go in with a little bit more of that shade on my finger and tap it. Oh, that is so pretty. Oh my gosh, I love that color. So with that one, I'm guessing you could definitely use your finger instead of a brush, which honestly, I find a lot of the times I prefer using my finger over a brush. Look at that. Oh, so pretty. So to me, this is color, but this is very wearable. This is not in your face, like you've got this harsh blob of color on your eyes. This is how I choose to wear color. So that's why I wanted to do this video, to show that you can use these colors and not be super bright and out there if you don't want to be. Last but not least, I think I'm going to take this shade, C1, right here, which is a pretty light pink shimmer. I'm going to take my finger with that one and tap it on the very inner corner of the eye. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of my makeup, and I'll come back and we'll do the lower lash line and finish up the eyes. I did go ahead and finish up the rest of my face makeup, and now I'm going to do the lower lash line. And I'm just going to sweep this on the lower lash line. Make sure to flick it up to connect to this outer corner. And that is all I'm going to do for this look for the eyes. I think this is so pretty. It's not super in your face, but it's still a little bit of color. So I'm going to curl my lashes. I'm going to use Lancome Monsieur Big. So this is the final look number 2. I really like how this turned out too. I think this is really pretty natural looking purple. It's not in your face, but it's really wearable. This is definitely something different for me, but I love having the option to have color on my eyes, and I think this is a really approachable, easy, wearable way of using purples. So I hope you guys like this look. I will be back again with a final look, and we're going to use some of the other colors in the palette, but I do really like how this one turned out. Let me know what you think of look number 2 in the comments, and I will see you tomorrow with the third and final look. It is the next day, and we're going to do the final look with this palette. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, so we will see what happens. First, I'm going to go in with the same shade we used the other 2 days, which is a 4. So I'm thinking we're going to go in with shade E1, which is right here. It's kind of a corally pink. Gonna get a little bit of that shade on my brush, and we're slowly going to add this to the crease. I'm not pushing down very hard with this color. I'm just basically using the tip of the brush and holding it really far out and just lightly feathering that color into the crease. Taking a little bit more of that shade, just going back and forth right where you can feel the crease of your eye. So that shade is really pretty. It's not, especially mixed with that A4 shade that we used, kind of turns it into kind of a corally color. It's very pretty. Really like that. Now that we have that shade laid down, we're going to go in with an even brighter pink, a very, very small amount, shade C2. So this is Barbie pink. I mean, it's neon pink. So again, we're going to take very, very tiny bits of this, using just a tiny bit of that A2 shade. I'm tapping it and brushing it, kind of flicking it outward. I'm using a really small brush for this so you don't get too much product. Just like that. So these shadows are very easy to blend, which is really nice, especially when you're using really vibrant shades like this. It's good if they're good quality and are blendable, which these so far so good. Now I'm going to go in with the A4 shade that we used originally and a really big fluffy brush. And we're just going to softly blend this out. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit of the shade A2, which looks kind of like a lavender sparkle again, but I have a feeling it might look a little bit pinky with this eye look. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to take a little bit of that on my finger and just tap on the lid. Oh gosh, so pretty. Use my other finger. Get a little bit more of the A2 shade and just kind of pack it on the lid. Look, oh my gosh. And then I'm gonna go back into shade we used before, the shade C1, which is the light pink. And I'm gonna take that shade on my finger as well. Pop that right at the inner corner here. Okay, I'm obsessed with this. I know I've said that about all three of these looks, but they, like, this is so pretty. I really hope it looks as pretty on the camera as it does in person. I did go ahead and finish my face makeup, and now I'm just gonna do the lower lash line. So I'm gonna mix shade E1 and C2. So I'm gonna mix a little bit of both of these, making sure to connect it upward to that shade in the crease. Now I'm just gonna take a tiny bit of C1 and I'm gonna put a little bit of that in the inner corner. I'm gonna pop just a little bit of that shade right here. One last thing I did want to do is I'm gonna go back in with the C2 shade right here and my tapered blending brush again, and I'm gonna add just a little bit of this color very lightly into the crease. Just a little bit more to add a little bit more of that pink color. Now we will curl my eyelashes. Again, with the same Lancome Monsieur Big mascara. So this is the final look for look number 3. I, again, really like how this turned out. Honestly, this palette, I am so impressed. And this is not typically the kind of palette I always gravitate towards. I am definitely more of a neutrals kind of girl, but the shades in here are so versatile. You can do so much with this, and to me, this, again, like the purple look we did yesterday, is very wearable. It's not anything that's going to make you feel uncomfortable or like you have a ton of bold colors on your eyes, but you still get that pop of pink and a little bit of shimmer. I just think it's really fun and really pretty. This palette has everything. It has neutrals and the color too, so you can go all out if you really want to and use the very bright colors and get a really, really intense eye look, or you can mix the neutrals and the colors, which is what I tried to do. And I just think this is a really cool palette to have in your collection, and not to mention the quality, in my opinion, is really good. I did not have any trouble blending these shades, none at all. And I used a good many of them, and honestly, they kind of blended themselves. I mean, I'm obsessed with how this turned out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully this showed you that you can use color and still make it wearable for every day. So hopefully you liked the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and please let me know in the comments which look was your favorite, 1, 2, or 3, and why. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe before you leave and turn on your notification bell so you are notified every time I post a new video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Remember, simply be you. Bye.